Hi, this is Mark with Shot Rocket. I'm going to give you some tools to check your internet speed, your latency, and your jitter. Think of your internet speed as the pipe coming to your building. Think of the latency and jitter as the time of the speed of the flow inside that pipe. It keeps it really, really simple. For your system to work properly, you need to have your latency and your jitter needs to be within certain boundaries, certain levels. The higher it is, the worse it is. The lower it is, the better it is. Some issues that you might have if your latency and jitter is getting high is you might sound like you're talking like this to the customer. You're missing packets. You're speaking and packets aren't showing up at the other end, or vice versa. Someone else is speaking and it's not showing up to your ear. So when this happens all the time, when you're downloading a file or watching a video, but you don't notice it because it's not as important. If something is 50 milliseconds late or 100 milliseconds late, it doesn't matter in a download, or if you're watching something. But on voice can't show up late. If it shows up late, it's going to sound funny. So again, if you're having an issue or you want to just check your speed, you can go to speed.cloudflare.com. There's other people out there that do these speed tests, but this is one that's pretty good. I've downloaded and used it here on our system, and we are paying for 100 download and 20 upload. But this is what we're receiving from the cable company, which isn't too bad. This is kind of normally works. Whatever you're paying for, you rarely get above that. You get a certain percentage. This falls in within those guidelines. Again, these numbers are important, but latency and jitter are much more important. You can have 20. If you have fiber, you might have 20 up and 20 down, and the latency will be really low. So the voice call, the actual voice call on a star-to-star system is very small. It's in the kilobits, so it's not necessary to have a large download and upload speed. It's the latency and jitter. Some cable companies can't provide a good low latency and jitter number unless you get better internet and pay for better stuff. We had a customer that was like 20 down and 1 up, and the jitter and latency was just awful. Kept failing the test. Basically, they couldn't fix it, but they went up a package up to 110, and it fixed their latency and jitter issues just because they got a better package of internet. Let's see. Sometimes if your building's in a certain area where the kids are coming home and jumping on the Xboxes at 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. in the afternoon or 2 p.m., your internet might start really having issues, and it might be because someone down the street is using all your bandwidth up. That doesn't happen with fiber. Fiber is expensive. True fiber is expensive, but you'll get synchronized speeds here. You'll get 100 up and 100 down, or 50 up and 50 down, or 300 up and 300 down, whatever it is. It's the same speed up and down, and the latency and jitter will be fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and run this test. You can click the refresh button here, or you come down and just click on the retest. And this will take about a minute or so to run. We'll just let it do its thing here. You can see the variations in the speed that it's downloading. It's doing all kinds of fancy stuff down here. Don't worry about it. Again, if you're having an issue, run this test every 5 minutes or so for 15 minutes. Maybe do 4 or 5 tests. Try to catch whatever is going on at that time. We're still running the test, as you can see. In the meantime, I'll take this document over here. This is a definition of jitter. I'm not going to read it to you, and this is a definition of latency. Again, I'm not going to read it to you, but you can Google it up or talk to your IT guys. Just the numbers are good to know. Jitter should be below 30 milliseconds, and anything, the higher you go, the worse it is. Get around 100, 150, and things are really bad at that point. On latency, 20 milliseconds and below is great. 20 to 40 is good. 40 to 100 is okay. 100 and above, things are getting bad. You're going to have problems. So you should be somewhere between the 20 and 40 range, most likely, for your internet. Can sneak up during peak times a little bit into the above 40, but for the most part, between 20 and 40 is good. Same thing on the jitter. Occasionally you might have an issue, a spike, but below 30 is great. Okay, our test should be about done. I'm going to do this real quick so we can see what our results. So our down speed is 80 on the down speed, and up speed is 17. Our latency is 19 milliseconds. If you look down here, that's great, falls in that great range, below 20. And our jitter is 7. Again, that's far below the 30 milliseconds that you want it to be. So those are all good numbers. Run your test compared to those. If you run them and you find out that there's something's really going on, you might contact your ISP, whoever's providing the internet, and tell them, hey, I've taken screenshots every 5 minutes for the last 15 minutes, and this is what our internet's doing, and we're not paying for what we're getting, and open up a trouble ticket. Sometimes a simple reset of your modem might fix it, or maybe your modem needs to be firmware upgraded, or reset in some way that the cable company can help you. But again, take a screenshot of this right here, or pause the video to take a good look and see what you have and what you're paying for, and run that test. There's another thing we can do on the Star-to-Star systems with a Starbox. We can go into the back door and we can actually look at the Starbox, pinging the constellation here. These are pings going out to all the different sites, and we can kind of tell. I've had people, they'll say, hey, we're having terrible voice quality right now. I go in and look at their system, click on this little box here, and I can see that for whatever reason this is fairly nice and smooth for what we're looking at. What happens is these will be off the chart. They'll just be going crazy up and down, and you can tell that there's an event going on and they're having trouble with their internet, and that's when we direct them to their ISP to put in a trouble ticket. So it's something that we can see on the back end. I hope that helps. Again, run the tests as anytime you're having issues. Oh, one last thing I want to tell you. On the down speed and the upload speed, my theory is if people are having trouble hearing you, it's because there's something going on with the upload. People usually don't have trouble so much hearing people. It's usually because the speeds are much higher on the download. But when you're speaking on the upload to that person, your packets are leaving you and going up on the upload. Sometimes this will get really low. If you've got cheap internet, you're playing for maybe 50-100, or excuse me, 50-10. This can get kind of low, getting into 2s and that. So just keep an eye on it. Take screenshots and then let the ISP know you're having some internet issues. You can run the speed.cloudflare.com or use any of them if you just Google it up. All right, any questions, just contact us here at the help desk. Our email is helpdesk@shotrock.com. That's shotrok.com. Thank you.